Happening now, the COVID-19 recoveries are taking a jump. The details. Plus, Mayor Eddie Sundquist explains what role the newly reinstated Human Rights Commission will play in local policing.
And clouds and sunshine through the afternoon. Today, we back down the humidity for one day this weekend, then it's back to the hot stop. I've got the forecast next. The news at noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now on this Friday. I'm Justin Gould. COVID-19 recoveries increased yesterday here in Chautauqua County. Here's a look at the updated COVID-19 case map. Health officials say the number of active cases in the county dropped from 23 to 19 yesterday. Since the outbreak began, 190 people have fully recovered from the virus. 2 new cases of the virus were reported yesterday, though. One a teen and the other a man in his 20s. A total of 779 people are under domestic travel quarantine for having arrived in the county from a state listed on New York's travel advisory. Officials say 325 cases are under quarantine orders by the public health director and are now awaiting test results. Additionally, 1 person remains hospitalized in the county due to COVID-19. An Olean woman is facing charges after leading Cattaraugus County Sheriff's deputies on a high-speed chase yesterday morning that started on Route 219 and ended on Route 417. Deputies say 23-year-old Ashley McElroy fled an attempted traffic stop for allegedly driving a stolen vehicle. The chase ended when Salamanca police deployed spike strips. McElroy is facing several charges, including driving while intoxicated. Well, legislation which could save the Panama Central School District as much as $2 million has passed both houses of New York State's legislature. The bill, sponsored by State Senator George Borrello and Assemblyman Andy Goodell, would forgive the remaining $2 million of a $4.9 million fine. In 2005, the State Department of Education levied that fine against the district for a late final cost report on a capital project. Now, Borrello called that incomprehensible and says the fine takes away money that could further education of Panama students. Lawmakers in Cattaraugus County have voted to oppose New York's executive order calling for bars to only serve alcohol with food. Lawmakers voted 17-2 during their voting session this week. Sponsors of the resolution say Governor Cuomo's pandemic executive orders, specifically the one requiring alcohol beverages to be served only if accompanied by food, is bizarre. This month, the state issued that order to discourage large crowds from gathering at bars and restaurants in an attempt to stop the spread of COVID-19. One Cattaraugus County lawmaker explained the order could spark a crisis of obesity. Well, we thank you all so much for joining us here for WNY News Now. As we close out another week, let's check in with the comments and say hello to Lori. Good Friday to Lisa and Pam as well. Thank you all so much for joining us. Let's now get a check of our First Defense weather forecast, and it's absolutely looking beautiful out there, Mr. Dakota. And I got to tell you, I'm gearing up for a good weekend. So fingers crossed that forecast is looking good.
It will be a good weekend, but, you know, the first part of the weekend, what in the world was that?
I dropped my iPad. I'm sorry.
I thought the building exploded.
Nope. The iPad is okay. It is okay.
Okay. Is the iPad okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
that's
good.
what I was worried about. I'm like, oh, no. It's still working.
Because you know what, Jay? You break it, you buy it. Okay, here's a live look coming from Salamanca. Just a few clouds in the sky, 78 degrees right now, and not a whole lot of wind to speak of. Hey, the sunset last night. Did you get a chance to see this? This came from Chautauqua Lake. This came on my Twitter feed last night, and this is fantastic. The sunset over Chautauqua Lake. Peaceful and calming. And of course, if you have any pictures or videos of the weather, you can send them to us on Facebook, on the of course, on the First Defense weather page. Tweet them to me on Twitter at HuntersWX, and make sure you use the hashtag MyLocalWX. Temperatures right now, pretty mild. 76 right here in Jamestown, 74 in Mayville, also in Fredonia, 78, 79 in Dunkirk, 77 Corey, and over in Randolph, it is 80 degrees right now. So temperatures are going to warm up a little bit today, but the humidity down a little bit, so that'll not make it feel as hot, but it's still going to be pretty humid at least through tomorrow. 79 was the high yesterday, 65 is where we started the day, so another mild night. 97 is the record high for this day, set all the way back in 1934, and of course I've told you this before. The decade of the 30s and the 40s was 2 decades of extreme temperatures across the entire globe, and 37 is the record low set back in 1985. So through the afternoon, early clouds part with lots of sunshine coming our way for the afternoon. I think more clouds once you work further to the south in northwestern Pennsylvania, where you'll have a small chance for a shower. 75 to 83 today, just a little bit humid with a light and variable wind. Tomorrow's going to be your pick day of the weekend, but we keep the sunshine going into a Sunday, then we cool it down substantially into next week. I've got the details in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. The newly reinstalled Jamestown Human Rights Commission will be tasked with reviewing the city's policing practices to comply with the recent police reform law passed here in New York. Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist told us in an interview on this program yesterday. The group will not only advise his office and city council, but has the power to investigate city government and make recommendations to officials.
We have to undergo a review of our police practices in order to retain state funding by next year. As part of that, we're going to ask the commission to help us through that process, help us to evaluate our policies and procedures along with our community, and ensure that we're doing the right thing at this time.
So far, Sundquist says he has conducted around 50 interviews and received more than 80 applications from residents wanting to serve on the commission. The mayor says he hopes to have a final list of appointees ready for the city's August voting session. In total, the commission will feature 12 citizen members appointed by the mayor and then confirmed by city council. Members would serve a 3-year term. The mayor hopes that the commission can hold its first meeting in early September. A federal judge has halted the public release of police officer disciplinary records in New York, temporarily turning back a state transparency reform enacted in the wake of the George Floyd killing. The judge granted a temporary restraining order barring police departments and other entities in the state from disclosing disciplinary records until at least August 18th, when they will hear arguments in a union lawsuit challenging their release. Now, last month, New York repealed the 50A law that for decades blocked the public disclosure of disciplinary records for police officers as well as firefighters and correctional officers. Now, while the law was on the books, the officers' union sued to make it even more restrictive so that the public and even the victims of police misconduct couldn't learn the outcomes of internal discipline hearings. Coming up next, what the next round of COVID-19 stimulus payments might look like. But first, new guidance on reopening schools is out, how districts are preparing. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you. When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading the WNY News Now mobile app. Stay up to date on local news, weather, and sports that matter to you. Plus, subscribe to breaking news and weather alerts from the team that puts coverage first. In addition, watch news as it happens with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network. Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. As the coronavirus pandemic continues, there's new guidance from the CDC on childcare and education, guidance that mostly recommends reopening schools this fall. Our Reed Binion explains.
Being at the school, being on the campus is very, very important. Every district should be actively making preparations to open.
President Trump underscoring his position that schools should reopen this fall despite the ongoing coronavirus pandemic.
Fortunately, the data shows the children are lower risk. The children obviously have a very strong immune system.
This the same day the CDC issued new guidelines coming down hard in favor of opening schools. The agency cited evidence that suggests the virus isn't as serious for children and that kids aren't as likely to spread it to adults. Furthermore, the CDC underscored the harm done by keeping kids out of school, including learning loss and less access to food, mental health care, and other services. Those concerns echoed by others, including Bill Gates, who highlighted the harm to underserved communities.
The less resources their school has, so inner city schools versus suburban versus private, and the less that the teachers were given time to prepare for online, the worse it is.
Although the CDC's guidance favors reopening schools, it also recommends keeping them closed in cases of substantial, uncontrolled coronavirus transmission. The new guidelines come after President Trump complained that the agency's original recommendations for opening schools were too tough and too expensive. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Reed, thank you. Here in New York, districts are currently constructing reopening plans. Many are polling parents, asking them how comfortable they would be with having in-person classes. A second stimulus check, which has been in legislative limbo for several months now, is more likely that lawmakers have settled on some key negotiation points in Washington. The House previously passed the HEROES Act, which included a second $1,200 stimulus check. But Forbes.com reports the Senate has not acted on the package over concerns of high costs. However, Senate Leader Mitch McConnell addressed the Senate and confirmed the stimulus check will be part of the package.
Building on what worked in the CARES Act, we want another round of direct payments to help American families keep driving our national comeback.
Now, the second check will be exactly the same as the first for individuals earning less than $75,000 a year and $500 per dependent children under 17. Lawmakers will continue to hammer out the details, with the stimulus package considered one of the least contentious. Well, in the midst of this pandemic, presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden is focusing his new campaign efforts online, as opposed to rallies and in-person events. His campaign released a new video on social media featuring a lengthy conversation between President Barack Obama and his former VP. Our Karen Kafa breaks down the video and what Biden hopes to accomplish with it.
Former President Barack Obama,
I know how deeply you care about American families,
and presidential hopeful Joe Biden.
To change the way in which we deal with allowing people an opportunity to make a living.
Joining forces in a socially distanced sit-down designed to capitalize on Biden's connection to his still popular former running mate. Topics in the nearly 16-minute-long video ranged from the current COVID crisis.
When we left office, you had set up a pandemic office within the White House. We knew pandemic diseases, this wasn't going to be the only one that ever occurred.
To the growing cries for racial justice in America.
it is a sign of leadership when you are willing to hear other people's experiences.
The video also draws a sharp contrast between the former VP and President Donald Trump without mentioning him by name.
I don't think he has any sense of empathy.
Biden is ramping up his attacks on the man currently sitting in the Oval Office, calling him America's first racist president during a virtual town hall. President Trump defended his record on race.
Prior to the China plague coming in, floating in, coming into our country and really doing terrible things all over the world, doing terrible things, we had the best African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, almost every group was the best for unemployment.
At the White House, I'm Karen Kafa reporting.
Karen, thank you. With continued concerns about the pandemic, the Chautauqua County Board of Election Commissioners are urging voters to apply now for absentee ballots for the November 3rd election. Commissioners say it's not too early to apply for ballots if voters have an approved reason, including fears over the COVID-19 pandemic and social distancing requirements. They say voters who have health-related worries should select temporary illness as their reason for seeking an absentee ballot. Mailing of absentee ballots will begin Friday, September 18th, and absentee voting will run from September 18th through the 5 p.m. on Monday, November 2nd. As always, in-person voting will continue, with polls opening at 6 a.m. on November 3rd. In-person voters are asked to wear a mask, and masks will also be provided for those who do not have one. Special accommodations will be made for voters opting not to wear a mask. The commissioners anticipate up to 35,000 absentee ballots out of the county's 77,000 active voters. Well, we thank all of you for joining us today as we close out another week, and certainly election season is certainly heating up amid the pandemic, and it does seem like a lot of candidates aren't politicizing and campaigning as much as they would have because of COVID-19. The internet certainly changing the way that all of that happens. Got to say hello to David. Good to see Walter, Jamie, Justin, Ryan, Donna, Teresa, Elizabeth, Linda, Joseph, and Laura joining us today. Hopefully everyone's having a good one. We thank you so much for being here. Corey says, great local news, guys. We appreciate it. Well, Corey, we thank you so much for tuning in, because if it wasn't for great viewers like all of you supporting us and our local advertisers supporting us, we wouldn't be able to do this. So we're certainly so grateful for it. Speaking of grateful, we are grateful for our beautiful, beautiful day out there. Chief Forecaster
Grab
Dakota
the boots.
Hunter joins us now. You know what? This summer has been, all things considered, pretty nice if you like the heat.
Yeah, and the dry conditions as well, because of course I told you June we ended below average rainfall, but I mean this month we've had a lot of rain this month, and that kind of knocked away our drought conditions. So here's what's coming up here. So sun for everybody today. So enjoy it. Now again, if you're in northwestern Pennsylvania and especially Warren County, there could be a small shower this afternoon, but it's a small chance. But I think sun will probably rule, especially later this afternoon. A brief break in the humidity tomorrow, but it comes right back again for Sunday. Why is there a bee flying on this camera? This is my camera. Go away. And a cooler week coming up next week. Right now at the airport, we're at 76 right now, a variable wind of 3, and the dew point down a little bit, but still in the mid-60s. And we're going to see the dew point drop a little bit as we go into tomorrow. Any golfers out there have a tee time for this afternoon? Great, 2 to 6, lots of sunshine, temperatures around 80 degrees. Again, if you're golfing, especially in Warren County, northwestern Pennsylvania, again, keep your eyes on the radar for just a small shower, but everybody else should be dry and light winds, so wind should not be a factor out on the course today. So again, there's the muggy meter for you, showing you in this muggy category, 60 to 65 for dew point temperatures today. It'll go down a tick for tomorrow. So again, not too bad tomorrow. And again, the temperatures tomorrow will be in the lower 80s, but watch it spike right back up again as we go into Sunday. We're going to be in this muggy category once again for Sunday, and Sunday will be the hottest day of this upcoming week. By the way, temperatures will likely reach the mid to upper 80s once again. Satellite and radar composite shows you those clouds. They're starting to move away now, so as we go into the afternoon, we should be in a lot of sunshine. High pressure dominating much of the northeast right now, and not a whole lot going on across the continental 48. Tropical weather very quickly. We still have a tropical storm Gonzalo right here, which is kind of way out here in the Atlantic. This thing is going to curve into the Caribbean. We still don't know if this is going to become a threat to the U.S. Gulf Coast or not. Still too early to know that, but it's got 50-mile-per-hour winds, and we have a new tropical storm in the Gulf of essentially in the Gulf of Mexico here. This is Tropical Storm Hannah. This thing is going to impact Mexico here. Wait a minute. Mexico and Texas. There you go. I literally combined the two, but there you go. This thing is going to hit the southern tip of Texas, and the main threat with this is going to be heavy rain, but no threat to either storm to western New York at this time. So zone forecast, the inland areas today, temperatures a little bit cooler, likely upper 70s, a few lower 80s are possible with lots of sunshine. Again, as we told you, if you're down in Warren County, this will be the better shot for at least a shower through the afternoon. How about the future? Next 7 days are coming up, 82 tomorrow, 86 Sunday, but it's sticky icky because, again, the humidity will be in play, only dipping back into the upper 60s for lows. A storm system moving close to the region will bring us widespread showers and thunderstorms on Monday, 83, but still humid. And look at the cool down as we go into the middle part of next week. We have introduced a small chance for showers, maybe a thunderstorm both Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but both days it's a small chance and temperatures into the upper 70s. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Straight ahead, we tell you how several local insurance agents are giving back to kids in the community.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. Jamestown area insurance agents made a donation today to help children who suffer from abuse in the community. State Farm agents Tim Kamer, Kirk Mayberry, and Dave Snow donated $1,500 to the Child Advocacy Program of Chautauqua County. Family advocate Tori Jordan says the donation will go a long way to helping kids in need.
Through these donations, we're able to give free counseling sessions to kids. We're able to provide free advocacy services, just to have that extra help for a family through this process, just to have somebody that understands the system, right? Like, to give these parents a peace of mind knowing that they've come to the right place to have assistance when they're struggling with this new reality that is their child having been victimized.
Jordan says this is the second donation made this week by local community members. The James Prendergast Library recently donated snacks and juice boxes used by their summer recreation program. Certainly great to see the community giving back, and just another great reason to call this home. Thanks everybody for joining us today as we close out another week of pretty active week of local news, and we're always happy to keep you in the know. Let's check in with the comments and see how everybody's doing. Good to see Sandra, Crystal, Mariah, Dawn, and Ron as well. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. Good to see Donna as well. Hopefully they're having a good day. Dave says it's the air that you can wear, and that's a Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter trademark right there. And you're right. This summer has been the air, and we've been wearing it. Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
I mean, you know, it's the air you can wear where your clothes just stick to you. And speaking of which, Justin, do you know what today happens to be?
Today is Friday, the 24th of July. Is it Christmas in July?
No.
Okay.
Now we did a special on this a couple years ago. Today is the 10th anniversary of the Mayville tornado in 2010.
That's so interesting because we just had a tornado.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm guessing you're going to tell us about it.
Well, I didn't put the graphics in here for it.
I
but,
thought that's what you were going to do.
Well, no, I don't have it. You see, when we did the special
It's a
2
pretty
years
cool
ago, we
special.
had completely different graphics. So, of course, for those of you who don't know how this works, essentially at the beginning of this year, we changed all of our graphics and imaging, and we don't have those in the new graphics set. So I couldn't go in and put it in there, but I think we still have it on video somewhere, the special we did with the National Weather Service up in Buffalo. We'll pull it from the archives.
We could try to tweet that out later this afternoon. Maybe you could tweet that out for people, Hunters WX, and send them the link. Because I know we still have the report up online, obviously, but it was a really cool report that you did, you and our photographer, and you went up to the National Weather Service and actually talked to them about the historic significance of the tornado. And I think that's the biggest thing is Western New York gets probably about one tornado a year is what they tell us.
Yes,
so
generally.
Right, and it's not that they're so close together because they're years apart.
Right.
But that we just recently had a tornado that destroyed a barn and damaged some homes in the town of Portland in Chautauqua County. And now looking back at it, that was literally last week at this time, a week to the anniversary to another big storm that impacted so many. It's such interesting.
It's the thing we say, tornadoes happen everywhere. You have to be prepared. So very quickly here, let's talk about the weekend here, weekend weather. Saturday is really going to be your pick day, 82, less humidity. Now, as we get into Sunday, hotter with very sticky humidity, though, 86, but both days, lots of sunshine. And obviously on Sunday, you know how to stay cool, air conditioning, water, all that stuff. Jay?
Yeah, certainly. Please make sure you don't become dehydrated. Dakota, thank you very much. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. And we remind you, when you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. It's free. All you got to do is search WNY News Now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Subscribe to breaking news push notifications. We'll keep you informed. We leave you with a live look over downtown Jamestown. Hopefully everyone has a great weekend. We're back here Monday at noon. Hope to see you then.